Hello and welcome. In this short video, we're going to see how you can edit the cover sheet for your native exam. We're going to go to our Chemistry 7 exam while I'm impersonating this user because it has 0 questions on it. So we're going to open this up, and here we go. Now we're ready to add questions. Let's just add any old question because in order to export the exam and see the cover sheet once we have set it up, you must have at least 1 question. Otherwise, it will give you an error saying there are no questions on your exam, nothing to export. So let's just add any old question. We'll add a couple. And then we're going to scroll down, add to problem test. There we go. And so now if I do the export, since we don't have a cover sheet generated, it's just going to produce the questions themselves. And so there it is. That looks okay, but let's get that cover sheet on there. To do that, we're going to go to this edit button. And then we're going to go over to the cover sheet tab. And then you're going to be prompted like this, either to create your cover sheet from scratch or to assemble it from some defaults. The defaults we have created are those that will be found on the common exam cover sheets. So just general instructions advising students to do the best they can, fill in the bubble on their answer sheet, selecting only one answer, things of this nature pertaining to a multiple choice exam. If you have other instructions, of course you can go through creating from the defaults and then edit those further. We're going to go ahead and just do from scratch just to show you real quick how that looks. And basically it is how it sounds. Everything is blank and you'll have to go in and input this information yourself. So Chemistry 7, and then you put your name and then of course the number of points possible. These 4 fields are required and must be filled in order for you to export this cover sheet. If I don't have anything in there, it gives me an error. Like this one, possible points in cover sheet settings must be greater than 0. Okay, let's make it 30. And then you can go in and input any test directions you want using the toolbar up here to create an ordered or an unordered list. Here is our unordered list, this option, and this is our numbered list, ordered list. You can change any heading size, any bold, italicizing, underline, so on and so forth. If you want to add an image, you most certainly can by selecting this icon and then uploading an image file through SPORK into this field. Or if you want to include any sort of formulas or constants, you can go ahead and select this square root of over x. Formula editor here will pop up, and then you can create your constants. The only time we're able to use this toolbar is in this field for the cover sheet, for the test directions. Now let's say, for example, you've misspelled your name, you have misspelled the course name, etc., and you want to just set it to defaults. Selecting that button will automatically default it to your school's name, your course name. You will have to input your own name here, so we'll just do that again, and you will have to input the number of points possible. This gives you the freedom, say if you included 20 multiple choice items, each worth 1 point, and then you included 5 additional free response questions, each worth 2 points. That's where you maybe want to customize the possible points listed for students to understand that there are 30 possible points, multiple choice questions are worth 1, free response are worth 2. Hence we get 30. Down here, we have the test directions that will be seen on the cover on the common exams. This is pretty generic and applies to pretty much every single common exam we're going to give. However, things like calculator policies, using an attached periodic table, things of that nature, you can always go in here and customize for yourself for your own native exam. If you delete everything by mistake, Control-Z will in fact work. However, you can just go back and hit selected defaults. Again, that will wipe out the teacher name, but that's a pretty easy one. Let's just type that back in. The other thing I want to point out is that we have inserted in the defaults the name and element and a space for students to write that information on their test booklet. Make sure that you keep something like that because in previous years it was a default and was always included on the cover sheet. Now we actually have to include that in the test directions. You, of course, if you just want to move this up to the top above the instructions, let's just copy and cut it out of there. Oh, I guess it doesn't, but it will copy if you hit Control-C or this right-click, copy, and then we're going to scroll up to the top, hit Enter, delete that. There we go. Now we've got that information, and now we have our directions. So you can just come back down here and delete that extra info. We are all set. And so when you're all ready to go, hit save, then go up to the export, and then you must select this checkbox with cover sheet to be able to see it on your exported exam. You can do that for both a large font and a standard. If you just have with cover sheet here, it will produce an exam in a standard font. So you actually have to select large print. Oops. You actually do have to select large print to see a large print exam. Okay, so here's our export. Looks pretty good. I might want to add an extra space below the right above where name is, just so the kids don't get bunched up there in the small space. But there's our exam. To see it in large print, here we see in in red bold font, large print version, so that you know and kids know that this is a large print version. And so here we can see the text is ever so slightly bigger than what we see in the regular standard export. And that's it. That's how you go about adding and editing your cover sheet. Thanks so much for watching.